Daddy is a controversial poem of American poet Sylvia Plath, published posthumously in 1965 as part of collection Ariel. Plath composed the poem in 1962, shortly after separating from her husband, poet Ted Hughes, and several months prior to her tragic death by suicide. Drawing from the complex dynamics of her relationship with her late father Otto Plath, the poem delves into the speaker's profound internal conflict and her relentless endeavor to emancipate herself from his overpowering presence. She delves into the complex and emotionally charged relationship with her father. The poem unfolds through a series of intense and vivid imagery, metaphors, and confessional statements. She addresses her father, expressing her sense of abandonment and disappointment. She compares him to a black shoe that she has lived like a foot in, emphasizing the suffocating and confining nature of their relationship. She reflects the impact of her father's death, with a mix of relief and resentment. The poem then delves into the speaker's childhood and her perceptions of her father as a powerful, authoritarian figure. She portrays him as a Nazi, describing him as having a mean camp look, and suggesting his sadistic tendencies with references to the rack and the screw. The speaker also compares her father to a vampire, highlighting his draining and oppressive influence on her life. As the poem progresses, the speaker reveals her own attempts to assert control and liberation. She creates a model of her father, symbolically taking power over him and attempting to understand him. The speaker acknowledges her own complicity, stating, "I made a model of you, and I said, I do, I do." This indicates her acknowledgement of the destructive patterns she inherited from her father. The poem takes a darker turn as the speaker explores her own trauma and personal struggles. She confronts her unresolved feelings towards her father, expressing a mix of hatred and love. The speaker also addresses her own identity and the role of her father in shaping it. She describes herself as a bastard and a child of her father's panzeman. The imagery becomes increasingly disturbing, with references to her father's Luftwaffe and ghastly statue, evoking the horrors of war. Towards the end of the poem, the speaker confronts her father directly, asserting her own strength and independence. She declares that she has killed him metaphorically, breaking free from his oppressive grasp. However, she also acknowledges her ongoing struggle to escape his influence, describing herself as stuck and still haunted by his memory. The poem concludes with the speaker's vivid depiction of herself being chuffed off like a Jew, drawing a parallel between her personal oppression and the historical persecution of Jews during the Holocaust. This final image encapsulates the speaker's sense of victimhood and her quest for liberation from her father's dominating presence.